Hi everyone, I'm back with a budget Rakdos Madness deck. This is a derivative deck based on the previous deck I built. I dropped the Devotion mechanic, I went mono black and it was good, it was definitely an improvement. I tried to splash some red. Being able to get some extra reach through Fiery Temper helps. So let's get to the actual deck tech. We're running 23 lands. Yes, we do have some 5-drops. But it's not integral we get to them late, and quite frequently our 5-drop is really just straight discard. We'll start with our land. Our first land is the Dragon Skull Summit. Dragon Skull Summit enters the battlefield, tapped unless you control a swamp or mountain. And as you can see, it's swamps or mountains. This card works exceptionally well with their deck, and we'll get to the rationale. So there are 4 of mountains. We've got 6 mountains. Another set of dual lands, Smoldering Rush. If you have Blood Crypt, of course it's even better, but you know, this is a budget and we come in $98 US in paper and 37 tickets online, or 37 US online. Going up, the shock lands will knock us up over $100, but it doesn't actually seem to matter. Smoldering Marsh does what we need to do because it is a swamp and a mountain. So if it's out, turn 1 Smoldering Marsh, turn 2 you could Dragon Skull, and it will not come into play tap because Smoldering Marsh is a swamp or a mountain. And then we follow it up with 9 swamp. So the 23 lands, which works well for us. We don't really care if we flood out a little bit. We can discard land as well as anything else. This is a Madness deck and we are focused on the discard. We move to our 1-drops. We've got Bloodsoaked Champion, 4 of. 2-1 for 1 isn't that great, but a 2-1 for 1 that we can get back, we can recur, is good. And the recur is easy to recur as long as we got 1 attack and we recur it, so we can use a discard. You know, we can lose it, it really doesn't matter. He's expendable and he fits this deck really well. We go to our 2-drops. Next up is Asylum Visitor. Asylum Visitor does a couple things. It's a 2-drop. It could easily crew the Smuggler's Copter, and it's a Madness of 2, and occasionally it draws his cards, which is never a bad thing. A Smuggler's Copter in a Madness deck is card draw. In most cases it's straight up card draw, and Asylum Visitor does occasionally draw his cards as well, but mainly because it's a 2-drop and it's a Madness of 2 that we're using it. That's really the only reason. By dropping the Devotion, we needed more ways to trigger Madness, and Heir of Falkenrath gives us that. Discard a card, transform Heir of Falkenrath, active speed only once each turn. It flips into a 3/2 flyer. You can do it instant speed. It has 0 cost to actually do the Madness, and it fits the deck. And a 3/2 flyer does have to be answered in Modern. They're going to have to blow out a kill spell in most instances, because if you can get damage in with the 3/2 flyer, it's just gravy. But most importantly, it's a free instant speed discard. And then we go to one of the name cards of the deck, Pack Rat. Again, Pack Rat's power and toughness are equal to the number of rats you control. Pay 2, 2 and 1 black, discard a card, create a token that's a copy of the Pack Rat. Again, what's so critical about this is it's a token that's a copy, which means it can make more copies of itself. So as long as you've got a Pack Rat on the field, you've got ability to make more Pack Rats. And the discard is straight Madness number, and it's instant speed. So you can do it in response to blocks, you can do it in response to kill spells. You're always able to do it as long as you got the mana and a card in hand. Then we go to the Looter Scooter, the Smuggler's Copter. Whenever Smuggler's Copter attacks or blocks, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. So that's free Madness enablers. Can't ask for anything but, and I think it's probably, well, it is the most powerful card in the deck. There's a reason why it was banned in Standard, because it's that good, and it is working well in this deck. You'll see if you saw the previous videos, you saw it was good there. It's great in this deck. We go to our 3-drops, which are all really 1-drops with the exception of Stormkirk Occultist. So we go on to the vein, 6-point life swing for 1 mana. We got plenty of Madness outlets. 1 of Stormkirk Occultist, it gives us another Madness enabled card. I initially tried 4 and then just 1 Asylum Visitor, but the 3 mana cost slowed the deck down a little bit, just a little bit too much, whereas the 2 mana cost, we could more consistently play the deck at 2 mana if we were stuck, because then the only cards that we couldn't actually cast with just 2 mana on the board is the Demigod of Revenge. I found the Asylum Visitor it performed better for us, so it's a 1-of, because it dropped from 24 to 23 land, and having an extra body on the field can help. And you know, if you do have to hard cast it to create a Smuggler's Copter, it's still 3. You know, it's got an additional advantage. It's a 3/2 trample, which isn't great, but if you do get some damage, you excel the top card, and you know, you may jack land or something and get to play play something of his, which is never a bad thing. Fiery Temper deals 3 damage to target creature player with madness of 1 red. It can be a lightning bolt, it can be burn, it gives reach. If you do need to kill troublesome creature, you know, you've got that advantage, whereas Alms, you do not have the advantage. So this does work exceptionally well, and it was worth splashing the red for. And especially when you do see us play, you'll notice the lands rarely come into play tapped. I don't think I've actually had, other than turn 1, and I've chosen to play one of the Smoldering Marshes or Dragon Skull Scummets tapped because they don't have a turn 1 play. But most of the time I can sequence the lands properly because there are a large number of basics to never have a problem with tap lands. So we essentially pick up the red color for play-wise free, and you know, not a lot of money. I think maybe $18 for the rare lands. And then the biggest change to the deck was the Demigod of Revenge. Now this card gives the deck that late game, out of the blue finish. Now the reason why is, so it's 5 mana, 5/4 flying with haste. The most important though, when you cast Demigod of Revenge, return all cards named Demigod of Revenge from the graveyard to the battlefield. The most important is when you cast. Well, it's a cast trigger. So you cast it, it goes on the stack. Let's say somebody counters it, fine. It goes to the graveyard. The cast trigger, which is first in, last out, is on the bottom. It will now come back and take every other Demigod of Revenge you've discarded to the Pack Rat, or discarded to the Smugglers, or discarded to the Heir to the Falcon Wraith. Every other one you've discarded will come back as well. So it's flying haste. That's your finisher. You know, you could pick up 5, 10, 15 flying points out of the blue. So it's a great addition to the deck. And then we pick up Dark Withering. Destroy target non-black creature for 1 black madness. That's the main board. We'll go to the sideboard. We have some duresses for times you want to get the combo cards out of the guy's hand. Fatal Pushes. Hits a bunch of creatures. 1 mana. Can't really ask for much from that. Lightning Axe Enabler. Nihil Spellbomb, a little bit of graveyard hate. We're playing black so we can draw a card, which is never a bad thing. Collective Brutality. $20 of the deck comes from these 2 Collective Brutalities. If budget, you don't have them, run additional duress. But against burn, this card is just gold. All three modes work. You can kill one of his little dudes. You can get some of your life back, and hopefully pull a burn spell, or force him to blow the burn spell at your choice of timing and not his, which is advantageous. Collective Brutality is excellent, but again, if budget's an issue, you can go a different way with it, and they do take a very large chunk of the cost of the deck with it. Bile Blight. Bile Blight, as you saw in the last videos, in certain instances is just pure gold. Great for blowing out tokens, or you know, the guy runs a couple mana dorks out. If you can hit 2 mana dorks for 2 mana, you know, that's just a huge tempo swing. Big Game Hunter. 1 mana madness, destroy target creature, power 4 greater. It can't be regenerated, so it's there to get the big boys. Yeah, you side it in. You know, even if you have to spend 3 mana to cast it, sucks, but it's doable. But if you can get away with it as a discard outlet for 1 mana, and you get a body that can crew the Smuggler's Copter, yeah, it's just gold. I tried running it main board. It's just not consistent enough, but against some decks, it's just pure gold. So I left 2 in the sideboard. That's it. So the deck list will be in a link to Goldfish in the description. Again, it's 98 in the paper world, about 37 tickets online. We will be doing 4 rounds of Magic. Come back for that. Thank you.